What if I told you that behind the magic of Disney lies something far more calculated? That the stories, characters, and merchandise you grew up with weren't just created to entertain, but to subtly influence the way you think and behave. Sounds like a conspiracy theory, right? But what if this isn't just fantasy? Stick around as we dive into the real story of Disney's influence on childhood, an agenda that might be shaping more than just our imaginations. Disney is often associated with innocence, fun, and the magic of childhood. It's a world where dreams come true, where princesses find true love, and where good always triumphs over evil. But behind the scenes, Disney has built an empire that may be molding young minds in ways that are far from innocent. Today we're going to explore whether Disney's content and merchandise are subtly shaping childhood values, and whether this corporate agenda has a larger cultural influence than we realize. To understand Disney's power, we first have to grasp its sheer size. Disney is not just a company that makes movies, it's a global media conglomerate. With control over massive franchises like Marvel, Star Wars, and Pixar, Disney's reach extends far beyond fairy tales. But more importantly, it has a stranglehold on childhood itself. From toys, clothing, theme parks, video games, and books, Disney is present at every stage of a child's development. Disney's annual revenue sits in the billions. And they don't just sell entertainment, they sell identity. Kids identify with the characters they watch. They want to wear Elsa's dress, have Lightning McQueen backpacks, or sleep in Mickey Mouse-themed bedsheets. But is there something more at play here? Could Disney be using its media and merchandise to cultivate certain values that benefit the corporation? Let's break down Disney's stories. On the surface, they're simple. Good versus evil, love conquers all, dreams come true. But what's underneath these fairy tales? Take the Disney princesses, for example. From the original Snow White and Cinderella to the modern Elsa and Moana, Disney's portrayal of female characters has evolved, but for decades, their stories emphasized beauty, submission, and romance as the ultimate goals. Girls were conditioned to dream of being rescued by Prince Charming. Now, Disney has shifted. Elsa doesn't need a prince, and Moana charts her own course. But even in these newer stories, are we still seeing carefully crafted narratives that support consumerism? After all, for every independent heroine, there's a corresponding toy line, soundtrack, and themed merchandise ready to be sold. It's not just about empowerment, it's about creating brand loyalty. Disney doesn't just sell stories, it sells a lifestyle. From the moment a child watches their first Disney movie, they're introduced to a world of branded products. Think about it. Disney isn't content with just getting you to watch the movie. They want you to live in it. They want children to wear the characters' clothes, own the toys, decorate their bedrooms in Disney themes, and visit the theme parks. But this immersion into a world of Disney isn't just harmless fun. Psychologists argue that by turning play and imagination into a commercial venture, Disney might be influencing the way children view themselves and their world. Kids are growing up believing happiness comes from buying the next toy, costume, or gadget. Beyond consumerism, there's another layer of influence, values, and gender roles. In many Disney movies, the ideal male protagonist is brave, strong, and stoic. Think of Simba, Aladdin, or even Kristoff from Frozen. Meanwhile, female characters often grapple with beauty standards, or the expectation of finding true love to complete their story arc. Even in more progressive films even when Disney tries to break away from these traditional molds, such as with characters like Merida in Brave, they still rely heavily on tropes that tie back to deeply ingrained stereotypes. And here's the catch, children absorb these messages. They internalize them, and these ideals shape their understanding of gender, identity, and self-worth. Now let's get to the big question. Is this just the byproduct of a corporation looking to profit from its audience, or is there something more deliberate happening? Could Disney be using its power to subtly shape childhood values in a way that ensures future generations continue to buy into the Disney brand? From Walt Disney's original vision to today's multimedia empire, the company has always been strategic. It's no accident that Disney aligns itself with family values and wholesomeness. By building trust early in a child's life, Disney ensures lifelong loyalty. But what are the costs of that loyalty? Are children being conditioned to become lifelong consumers, trained to associate happiness and fulfillment with Disney products? Disney isn't just an American phenomenon, it's a global force. With theme parks on multiple continents and films dubbed in countless languages, Disney's influence spans cultures and societies. But here's the kicker. The messages in Disney's content don't always align with the values of every culture they touch. In some regions, Disney has been accused of promoting Western ideals and consumerism at the expense of local traditions. And for children growing up in diverse cultural environments, this can lead to a conflict between their heritage and the values Disney promotes. So the question remains, how much cultural power should one corporation have? So, what do you think? Is Disney simply a beloved creator of magical worlds? Or is it a corporation with an agenda to shape childhood values in a way that serves its bottom line? Is the magic real, or are we all just under a spell? If this made you think twice about the Disney you thought you knew, hit that like button, subscribe, and let us know in the comments. Is Disney's influence harmless entertainment, or is there a corporate agenda at play? We'd love to hear your thoughts. And remember, the magic isn't always what it seems.